Argyle here again. We're trying a new, different speed paint this time. Um, I kind of went through and kind of realized that specificity and trying to force things to happen was kind of my problem with the last speed paint, and I actually wasn't satisfied with how it came out. But as you can see here, I found some different texture brushes and some other things that worked a lot better for me. Instead of trying to envision something specific, I kind of just let the artwork flow. I kind of just did a very messy process. This texture brush, this chrome thin brush, was like magic. It suddenly, some of the stuff made, it clicked. This particular style is kind of a comic book style, but I was obsessed with some of my other work that I was able to produce in a quick amount of time. Granted, it looks a lot better, and I guess I was just having a lot more fun and a lot more success with this just because of how loose it is. Trying to remember, some of the stuff my professors told me, and they basically told me, when I spend long times on things, I kind of, screw it up, and if I think about it, I kind of screw it up. I was trying to do line art. I was trying to force things to happen. I was trying to do rendering all this thing. I couldn't do a face, but you know what? It's a YouTuber thumbnail. I can use my own damn face. I can trace my own face. And honestly, this isn't even the first version I go through. There's a lot of times throughout this speed paint that I try to use references or maybe paint over some things just to try and get an idea going. Like it was pretty rough. I didn't really know exactly what I was doing in terms of where I wanted to go. I know I wanted to put my face or complete the thing and complete the anatomy because I know what some of the muscles look like. Not some of them. I know what all of them look like. I went from nursing school to art school to this now. So, but I. Yeah, I was struggling with this. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, okay, maybe I'll render this. Okay, maybe I'll draw over it, and all the shapes were weird. And this side, actually, I kept. But what mainly killed this particular piece for me, or at this point, was the weird shapes in the front. I was trying to develop foreground, midground, foreground. I was trying to add some visual interest with lighting. I was doing a lot to try and figure out what colors I wanted to do, how I even wanted to do this, how I wanted to light this. Um, this whole process was 12 to 16 hours. It was a huge thing. I really enjoyed it, and I learned a lot about just texture and being loose. I just spent a lot of time with different brushes and not really trying to be too specific, more focused on shape than form. I think something that really clicked with me is looking at Adrian Smith's work. He does a lot of ink stuff, and when you really zoom in on some of his older Warhammer ink paintings, it's scribbles, man. It's scribbles. It is scribbles with rendering on top. It's very loose, very messy, and this is what I was doing. I was just going at it. I was just letting the brush go. I decided to um, just let the inking do the talking and a lot of rendering, which was a lot of fun. I could not, for the life of me, figure out the ground or what I wanted to do with it. Um, Another thing that happened is that brushstroke, the left side with that round edge, whatever that was. When I tried to export it, it was like solid white, and you'll see it do weird stuff later on. And hopefully you tell me what the heck was going on there because I didn't know. But yeah, I tried using the texture as the base, and then I didn't really like the texture. And I think the texture was kind of like eh. I started doing a lot of weird different things and lighting. I was trying to fix as well, but like here's the thing: I knew I wasn't gonna be able to draw a Quelaag. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to draw a giant spider lady, but a couple eyes back there was fun. Now this, again, I'm tracing my own face, but I feel like the simplification of it was a lot better than I expected. And it was a good learning opportunity because actually that was pretty clean line art. Granted, again, I traced over my own face, but the exaggeration of the eyes, the stylization of the nose, the mouth, and the eyebrows, it really popped out. It felt like I knew what the hell I was doing for a second there. Um, but I had a little wizard hat. Um, but I didn't learn my lesson from last time, and I want you I want you to know that it's just I just don't name them. I just keep adding layers on top of things because I have a commitment issue. Like for instance, okay, boom, that arm, different layer. I just kept deleting it, kept deleting it. I had the base that I had drawn, and then I just kept deleting the arm over and over and over again. I spent hours trying to figure out how to draw hands and arms, and it's something I need to do. It's kind of a joke being, an art student, and I just kind of got through everything without really having to paint the figure or implied hands. I know it was a cop out, but it definitely it just happens. It just happens. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do. You don't need hands, but you see there's my hand and my arm, and I broke it down. And I'm trying to understand more of the shapes of that angle and trying to understand the hand. And again, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you traced." Again, it's a tool. I'm trying to produce something. I'm trying to do my own thumbnails, man, and it's cool and fun. It's also time consuming, but oh, the lighting here. Okay, so luminosity layers, lighting layers, multiply layers. I learned about all that, and I enjoyed the heck out of doing all of those, and doing some color theory. And just look how cool his face glows. Granted, I did that and I focused on that with no regard to the rest of the piece. I didn't light anything. I didn't try and figure it out or anything like that, or try and put a base. It's because you're supposed to kind of bounce around when you're doing lighting, just so everything kind of fits. And you can see that they're trying to do that, and it's a struggle. The floor was a struggle. I tried to do a lot of different things. I tried to do cobblestone, like for the last video. I hated it, or at least I hated this version of it. Um, I tried to make some weird color choices, try to do lighten and the multiply, and I just kept figuring out that I was too light or too dark, or it's a lot of waffling back and forth, and a lot of clucking what the layer modes and stuff does or looks like again. Um, I Again, workflow is probably something I can relate to or work on, but yeah, no, this is why it's like yeah, but this is why failures okay. I got really discouraged from the last painting, and I was just trying to force things to happen the way I thought they needed to happen, the way like it's supposed to happen, and it just didn't really work for me. And I just moved forward, and I tried to apply all that I learned from the last painting. I didn't try to do any, because like what I ultimately ended up doing was trying a multiply with that last layer. And the last speed paint, I put a layer of color down just to darken the whole thing, and it was kind of ridiculous to have done that. But here I turned it bright orange. I was trying to imagine what it's supposed to look like, get the colors down. I was really color theory is a problem for me. And ultimately, everything got kind of here I kept my stone idea, and then I just blew it out of proportion, and I drew all over it, and I just went nuts, and I let the pen do what it was doing, and with kind of level plane. Oh, here's the lighting as well. That was amazing. Really enjoyed the lighting, but yeah, I just I took everything I learned, and I'm trying to continue to improve, and I think I was very, very happy with how this came out. Um, just flabbergasted, really, the difference between a mindset can do between one work and the next. I that right there, no idea how to fix that. Don't know. I spent forever to how to fix that. I hit every button in existence. Eventually, I fixed it, but oof, that was rough. But anyway, um, thank you for watching Speed Paint. Sorry, I didn't really script this one that well, but I just kind of wanted to show off the art and kind of talk about how I was feeling, and again, really excited. I'm really definitely developing a artistic style, and it's definitely more implied figure and form and texture than it is these hard and fast lines. There was some comic book like highlights and stenciling and stuff like that towards the end. But again, I was really happy with this. But anyway, I will see you in the next one.